This is the Etsy Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Ijama, and I thank you for joining me for this week's episode. I just want to let you know I'm recording this episode literally about 2 hours before it goes live. I had another episode I was going to release this week, but Etsy came out with some big news today, and so I wanted to share that with you, and I will release the episode that was intended for this week next week instead. So I'm doing this on the fly. It's almost practically live for me. So please excuse any errors. I'm just going to put this out there quickly so that you still get an episode this week. And but before that, I do want to let you know I'm going to be speaking at Social Media Marketing World, and it's a conference for social media marketers, but more than that, business owners who want to learn how to use social media and new media to grow their businesses and expand. And it's huge. And I'll be speaking on the podcasting track. My topic is, or the title of my talk is going to be How to Follow Your Calling and Produce a Podcast You Love. I'll actually be speaking on March 23rd at, my session will be from 11:30 to 12:15. It's going to be in San Diego. I'm going to put a link to the conference with more details about, just about the conference. You can go and look at it and learn more about it. And if you can't attend in person, you can also buy virtual tickets and attend remotely, and you get access to recordings of all the sessions. So I'll have more information about that if you go to convome.com/SMMW17, and that stands for Social Media Marketing World 17. So again, you can get more information about that. I'll link to it in the notes for this episode at convome.com/SMMW17. If you just go to convome.com, go to the website, in the sidebar, there's a picture with, there's a section where I say my next speaking gig, and there's a picture there of the conference and my face in it. If you click on that, it will take you to exactly the same place. Yeah, that's it. They're having a special right now, and oh man, I should have checked before I started this. I believe you get $300 off the regular in-person ticket and $200 off the virtual summit ticket. But I'll put more information in the episode, or it will be at that link. So on to the episode. This is a bonus episode of the resources podcast, and basically I'm titling this after the announcement Etsy came out with, building new features and tools so you can build your business. So Etsy had a lot to say today, lots of big things going on. And so they just announced the launch of Etsy Studio, which is their new marketplace for craft supplies. So if you sell supplies, this news might be particularly exciting for you. I know it was for me because I have a supplies store. And so I was, I don't know what the implications are yet, but I'm kind of excited about it. And this, when I read what they had to say, of course, it's all good, right? Because it's coming from Etsy. But I really was quite excited about it. And I think it will be a good thing, but I don't know yet. This is just my opinion. It hasn't launched yet. It doesn't launch till April, but I'll get into that more later. Also, in this episode, I will let you know about Etsy's new tools for helping you manage your shop more easily, and then some other improvements that they announced. There's a video from Etsy about all this, and I will embed that video on my site. If you didn't get the email with the link to it, I don't know what the URL is. It's kind of hard to say what the URL is, but there is a video. I will go ahead and embed it in the notes for this episode. Go to convome.com/Etsy Studio to view that video. And like I said, I'm recording this like a couple of hours before this goes live. So yeah, hopefully I will have it all together for you by the time you're listening to this. All right, so update number 1, Etsy Studio. Etsy Studio is an entirely new global marketplace dedicated solely to craft supplies. So if you're a seller of supplies on Etsy, you can hopefully now, I know sometimes I felt like I would feel like, oh, does Etsy remember people who sell supplies or vintage? Because it really is a handmade marketplace. But, now there's hope. Not hope, I shouldn't say that because it sounds like there wasn't before. But this is a good thing for craft supply sellers. Etsy Studio will launch officially in April 2017. So it's not out yet, but it's on its way. And it will offer shoppers a place to buy original DIY projects and the supplies to make them. That's how Etsy puts it. So the platform, again, is built specifically for sellers of supplies, and Etsy says that they used feedback from sellers of craft supplies and incorporated that into developing a whole new set of tools that address the unique challenges that sellers of craft supplies face. Things like better ways to categorize and describe your items. That's pretty much what they said. They said that they'll also invest in paid ads and marketing campaigns so as to draw in new buyers of craft supplies. So I'm curious to see how this will work. I don't know if by paid ads they mean paid Google ads or paid ad spots on TV or radio or what have you. I don't believe Etsy typically advertises on TV or anything like that. I know eBay started to do that after a while. So I don't know what the paid ads will be, but this is what they said, and marketing campaigns. So my guess is they're going to put a lot of money behind sending traffic to this new platform and educating the market that they believe these supplies are for about it. So we'll see. But I think they're going to try and, draw attention to it. So Etsy Studio and regular Etsy are integrated, so to speak. So your listings for craft supplies on Etsy will automatically be listed on Etsy Studio as well. But don't worry, they will also be listed on regular Etsy. So, and you'll be able to manage your listings on both sites, both Etsy Studio and the regular Etsy, all in one place. You're not going to, at least the way they make it sound, you're not going to have to log into 2 different places to manage each. Now, what about the fees? There won't be any additional fees for listings to appear on Etsy Studio. So if you list on Etsy once and pay that 20 cents, it covers the listing on Etsy Studio. Also, the transaction fee is going to stay the same at 3.5%, regardless of whether your item sells on Etsy or on Etsy Studio. Then account management. So your workflow isn't going to change. So things like your convos, listings, orders, and transactions, they will all continue to function on Etsy just the way they do now. And your Etsy shop will also stay the same. Now, other things that you need to know, about Etsy Studio, even though your workflow will remain the same, you'll get more exposure because you're now going to be listed on 2 marketplaces. And Etsy Studio will have the same services as you have on regular Etsy. Now, if you want to talk about this some more, of course, you can come to the website convome.com/Etsy Studio and leave your comments there. I will respond. If other people see your comments, I'm sure they will respond as well. There's also an entire Etsy Studio thread in the Etsy forums, and you can visit that to see or hear how other Etsy sellers feel about this new offering. But I'll just warn you now, there's some feedback. There's some positive feedback, but there's also some negative feedback there. And so it's the forums, you get both. But it's nice to hear how others are responding to change. hear what concerns other people have, things that you might not have thought of. I know some people brought up things that I didn't think of. And so, I don't know if Etsy is monitoring that. I'm pretty sure they're probably keeping an eye on it, maybe even getting feedback for things to add to it before it goes live in April. So, but do keep in mind, everyone doesn't like change. So don't let the negativity get to you if you start to see more than you like to. But like I said, it's good. And then there are some concerns people raised. Okay, moving on. Big announcement number 2, the new shop manager. So Etsy is launching a new shop manager, and it's going to let you streamline your daily tasks across all your selling platforms. And if you'd like to get a sneak peek at it, you can. And you can do this by joining the Shop Manager prototype team. I don't know if they call themselves a team, but you can sign up to get access to the new Shop Manager. And there's a link. I'll create a link to it because, again, the URL on Etsy is kind of hard to share with you on a podcast or to type. So go to convome.com/shop manager, and I will link that to the page where you can sign up to get access to the new shop manager. Now, so what's included in the new shop manager? Number 1, let's talk about the information. So you're going to get, as they call it, need to know information that's tailored to your unique business. You'll have easy access to your open orders, recent combos, and your shop stats. And you'll also get alerts when there's something that needs your attention urgently. 2, you'll be able to manage your shop on the go. So the new shop manager dashboard and the navigation menu will be available on the Sell on Etsy app, as well as your mobile devices. Then they're improving the navigation. It's supposed to be more intuitive. So all the tools for managing your Etsy shop will be on one menu, and that menu will stay visible as you move from screen to screen or do different tasks. The menu will still stay there, so you can easily access what you need to or navigate to wherever you need to go. Number 4, you'll be able to preview all your Etsy marketplaces in your dashboard. So you'll be able to see everything that's going on all your Etsy related sites. Initially, when they said all your marketplaces, I thought, or everywhere you sell, I thought, really? So if I sold, on Amazon and eBay, it would all be in there. But no, it's just the Etsy related sites. So if you have a Pattern by Etsy website, if you do Etsy wholesale and, Etsy Studio coming up, you'll be able to see all of those all in your dashboard. You'll be able to see what's going on in each one in your dashboard. So you don't have to log out and log back into one or the other. And then finally, you'll be able to search across your shop. So you can do searches using in multiple tools, all in one place. So you can search your listings, your convos, and your orders all from one place. Now, one thing to note is that the new shop manager is still only in the prototype phase, which is why, if you want to see it, you have to request access to it. So again, if you'd like to be a part of the testing group and provide feedback, and that's one of the nice things about Etsy, is that when they're rolling something new out or testing something new out, if you want to, you can get access to it and then give feedback and help them make the tool better before it comes out and then even after. So if you want to be a part of that and contribute to making this new shop manager even better and more useful for you and other sellers, again, go to convome.com/shop manager, or shop manager is where I'll link to it directly. You can just go to the blog post for this episode, which is convome.com/Etsy Studio, and then I will have a link that will take you to directly to the prototype page. Where you can sign up. Now, you can always switch back to your current dashboard if, say, you don't like it, or you have a bunch of orders you just want to get through and you don't want to take up too much time trying to figure out the new one. So you can switch back to your current dashboard while the new shop manager is in prototype phase. Once they roll it out, it sounds like everybody's going to get it and the old one is going to go away. And so if you get the new one, don't forget to update your Sell on Etsy app as well, so that you will be able to see the new shop manager on there. Other new developments from Etsy. Okay, there's the multi-shop checkout. This was actually launched in January of 2017, so just last month. And I have a whole separate episode on this one that goes into detail about it. Listen to the episode called Introducing Multi-Shop Checkout. It's going to be in the site updates section of the convome.com members area. Number 2. Etsy is renewing their commitment to transparency on the platform. So they've made the handmade policy, if you ever read it, much easier to understand. So you can read it again now and it will be easier to understand. They've simplified the process for disclosing your production partners. So if you do have people helping you out, it's now easier to list them in your shop so that everyone knows that you have people that help you produce or, produce what you sell. For more on Etsy's handmade policy, listen to the episode called Handmade Policy. And that's going to be an audio summary of Etsy's handmade policy. And I will have that in the legal section of the convome.com members area. Development number 3, improving search in 2017. Etsy plans to work on improvements to search in 2017. They announced this in the February Etsy community news update, and I discussed details of these improvements and how Etsy says that your shop can benefit from these improvements to search. And again, that's all in the Etsy community news update for February 2017, and that is going to be released this weekend. So it would have been released, it was going to be released this weekend anyway, but I didn't know I'd be recording this before then. But now you have a heads up. If you're subscribed to the podcast, you don't have to do anything. It will automatically show up in your feed. And if you're not subscribed and you listen on the website, go ahead and subscribe in iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you listen to podcasts, and then it will just come to you. Development number 4, new tools for managing your inventory. So you'll either now, or if not yet, soon be able to track your inventory using SKU numbers. SKU, which is SKU, stands for Stock Keeping Unit. And you'll also have more control over your item variations. So this is a feature that Etsy has started rolling out gradually, and it gives you the ability to set prices and quantities for item variations. So if this is a feature that you've been waiting for, I know that the item variations weren't very flexible in the past, then just be on the lookout if you don't yet have it. Like I said, they're gradually rolling it out. And how that can benefit you: adding SKUs to listings or individual variations will make it easier for you to track your items, both in your Etsy shop as well as in your workshop. I know that I have a system for tracking my inventory, and it's basically a SKU system I came up with myself based on, it's kind of complicated, but hopefully when I get this, it will make keeping track of my inventory easier as well. Now, having these SKUs and this better system for managing inventory will also benefit buyers, because they'll now be able to see accurate prices based on their selections. And actually, that's more so a function of the new ability to set prices and quantities for your item variations. So, to get more information, listen to the episode titled The New Shop Manager. And you'll find that in the general help section of the convome.com members area. And I will give you a more detailed description of these new features and how you can make the most of them in your shop. Development number 5. New attributes, new item attributes. So soon, it's not yet, Etsy hasn't rolled this one out yet, but when they do, you'll be able to add specific attributes to your item listings. Now, the idea behind this is to help your items show up in more relevant search results and to better help shoppers find what they're actually looking for. So by including a standardized category-specific attributes to your listings, buyers will have a better shopping and searching experience on Etsy. So like I mentioned, Etsy hasn't rolled this out yet, but they will be rolling it out gradually. But if you would like to get a jump start and learn how to use this feature when you do get it, there's an episode you can listen to. It's called Using Attributes When Listing an Item. That's also in the general help section of the convome.com members area. So these are all there. If you don't yet have the new item attributes, which actually, if you're listening to this when it goes live, you don't. But if you want to learn about it, you can go ahead and listen to that. And then when you do get it, you can listen to that again and actually walk through with it. All right. So those are the updates, the big announcement from Etsy that they released on February 14th, 2017. All right. I think I got through everything. If you found this information helpful, this particular episode helpful, or you enjoyed it, please share it with someone that you think would benefit from it. Please help me by posting about it on social media or in any groups that you belong to, any Etsy groups that you're a part of. I really do appreciate you helping to spread the word that way. Now, if you're wondering what I'm referring to when I say the members area of convome.com, it's a repository of Etsy resources that I've put together. I'm in the process of putting together. So it's not, everything isn't there yet, and I'm gradually adding to it, but it consists of all audio recordings of summaries of all the helpful educational articles that Etsy sends to sellers. I know sometimes it's hard to get around to reading all the emails that you get or finding articles in the seller handbook to teach you how to do something. And so that's what this is. It's not verbatim. It's not video tutorials. It's just me summarizing what they have said, how to do things or information that can help you. So I basically take the work and the stress out of keeping up with those emails for you and navigating through the Etsy seller handbook by reading these articles and then summarizing them for you in these audio recordings. So hopefully that will be helpful to you, kind of like this episode was. And like I said, some of them are just informational like this one. And then some are step-by-step tutorials that you can actually follow along with. And others are more informational, but will give you actionable tips and steps that you can then immediately go and implement after listening. So how do you get all this? So to get full access to all of these and more, there's a member area on convome.com, and it will cost just $5 a month. And every subscription comes with a free 14-day trial before you get charged. So if you sign up, you have 14 days to go in there, play around, listen to some of the recordings, see if you think it's going to benefit you. Just what they call it, kick the tires or spin the wheels. Kick the tires, I think it is, for 2 weeks. And if you find it helpful, then, definitely I welcome you to stay. If you think that it's not helpful for you or might not benefit you or it's not what you were looking for, then You can cancel. There will be no charge. And I'll send a reminder email also before your card gets charged, just to remind you that, hey, your 14 days are almost up. Your card is about to get charged, and so then at least you don't get blindsided. Now, if you want more information about this, please go to convome.com/read to me, and there's more information about what this what I'm basically telling you right now. And one thing I want you to know, the members area, the audio recordings there do not replace the free podcast that you're used to getting every week. You will continue to get these every week. The interviews will continue to be free. You can hear them here. Every once in a while, you can hear the resource episodes. But the bulk of the resource episodes, the Etsy Success newsletter, summaries, and summaries of the seller handbook articles and tutorials and what have you, all the audio summary versions will be in the members area of convome.com. Okay, so like I said, the podcast will still be here, but if you want that extra stuff, then go to convome.com/read to me to learn more. I thank you for listening to this episode, and I will be back next week. No music, no nothing. This is it. I'll be back next week